You know how it is. Some new product comes out and it's a total game changer, while another one just completely misses the mark. Why is that? Well, a lot of the time, the secret sauce is right there in the very first step. Today, we're going to dig into that first step, the define phase, from a super powerful framework called DMADV.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You get super excited for a new gadget or service, and it just falls flat. Maybe it's clunky or it breaks way too easily. It's so frustrating. But what if you could pretty much guarantee success from the get-go? What if there was a structured way to build that success right from the start?
This quote really hits the nail on the head. It says, quality is more a function of design than anything else. And that is so true. You can't just tack on quality at the end of the line. It has to be designed in, baked right into the DNA of the product. It's the difference between planning for excellence and just, crossing your fingers.
Okay, so to get to that level of excellence, the Six Sigma world gives us two main roads to take. And picking the right road is absolutely critical. It really boils down to one simple question. Are you trying to fix something you already have, or are you building something totally new from the ground up?
All right, let's look at this. You've got DMAIC on one side. Think of that as your toolkit for improving an existing process, making it better, faster, stronger. And then on the other side, you've got DMADV. This is your blank canvas. It's for creating something brand new right from scratch. One's about tweaking, the other's about creating. So for our chat today, we're putting all our focus on DMADV. This is the playbook for designing excellence right out of the gate. So the whole DMADV journey kicks off with the D, define. And let me tell you, this isn't just some box-ticking exercise. It's the literal foundation for the entire project. If you mess this part up, well, it's like trying to build a house on sand. It's just not going to end well.
This is where you set the stage for everything else. You've got to ask those really big, important questions like, what are we actually trying to do here? Why does this even matter? And maybe most importantly, what does success actually look like? How will we know when we've won?
So what makes for a good define phase? Well, you basically need to nail these four things. First, know your purpose. Second, have goals you can actually measure. Third, get a real schedule down on paper. And fourth, think about what could go wrong before it does. Get those four things right and you are golden.
Okay, now this is where it gets really cool, but also kind of tricky. You have a customer who wants something, but they can't always describe it perfectly. So how do you translate that fuzzy wish into a concrete blueprint that an engineer can actually work with? Yeah, it's a classic challenge, right? A customer says, I want a durable phone. Okay. But what does durable mean to them? Does it mean it won't break if they drop it? Or that the screen won't scratch? See, you have to get specific. And the way you do that is by capturing what's called the voice of the customer.
It really just means you have to listen, like really listen. Stop guessing what people want. Go out there and ask them. Use surveys, talk to them in focus groups, whatever it takes. That raw feedback you get, that's pure gold. It's the fuel for your whole project.
And here's the magic. You take that feedback and you turn it into something called critical to quality characteristics, or CTQs. Think of these as the secret code that translates customer language into engineer language. So durable becomes something super specific and measurable, like must survive a 5-foot drop onto concrete with no screen cracks.
And the tool that makes this translation possible, the secret weapon really, is called Quality Function Deployment, or QFD. It's basically a structured way to make sure nothing gets lost in translation between what the customer says and what the design team hears. At the core of QFD is this thing called the house of quality. It sounds complicated, but it's just a simple grid. On one side, you have the what's, what the customer wants. On the other side, you have the how's, how the engineers are going to make it happen. So if a customer says they want something lightweight, the chart points the engineers to material selection. See? It draws a straight line from the customer's wish to a real engineering decision.
All right, so your blueprint is done. Now let's see how that amazing blueprint guides the rest of the show.
See how it all connects. It all starts with define. What you figure out there feeds directly into measure, where you get your numbers straight. That data then goes into analyze, where you pick the best design. Then you actually build it in the design phase. And finally, you test it all out in verify. Each step flows right into the next. It's a beautiful thing.
And that's why getting the define phase right is so important. If you try to skip it or rush through it, well, it's like trying to build a piece of IKEA furniture without the instructions. You're just going to end up with a mess,
a lot of wasted effort, and something that definitely doesn't work.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. So if there's just one thing, one single idea you take away from all this, what should it be? It's this simple quote: "A problem well stated is half solved." That's it. That's the whole game right there. And that is the true power of the define phase. If you can clearly state the problem you're solving, you're already halfway home.
So, next time you're about to kick off a new project, I want you to stop and ask yourself, what's the one thing we have to define with crystal clarity right now? Because really thinking about that, well, that could be the difference between a massive win and a total flop. Thanks for tuning in.